When Michelle Trachtenberg passed away, I really wanted to see Harriet the Spy. Got around to seeing it. And I also really wanted to see Eurotrip. Because I grew up with Road Trip. And I do remember seeing on some websites like IMDb that Eurotrip actually has a bit of a higher score than Road Trip. Personally, I don't agree with that. I don't think that Eurotrip is nearly as good of a film as Road Trip. But still, I thought that enough was done with Eurotrip to make it watchable. The movie came out in 2004, and, I was 9 years old back then. So looking back at how much of a, I guess you could say, novelty this movie was, and how much a times capsule this movie was, it really, really took me back. The style, the music, and the gross out raunchiness. Yeah, it kind of took me back to to that time. But the thing with Eurotrip was this is a little bit more raunchy than your run-of-the-mill American Pie or Road Trip film. I was even though, yes, I hadn't seen the movie ever until just yesterday, I was still really surprised with how much things they were able to show. I knew that this movie wasn't going to get an NC-17 rating, but still, it was still a shock. So the movie deals with this young man who just graduated from high school. His name is Scotty. His girlfriend breaks up with him, and he's at this party, finds out that it's actually been quite a while coming. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? When Scotty ends up finding out that his German pen pal is actually a girl, a really beautiful girl at that, he decides to pay her a visit in Germany. There's some other things that happen between them, and so he gets his best friend to help head over to Berlin and maybe meet her, put the wrong things right. Thing is, him and his buddy, they end up crossing paths with these fraternal twins from their high school, one of whom is Michelle Trachtenberg, and they end up cruising all throughout one end of Europe to another, just to try to get to Berlin. Meanwhile, they end up encountering a whole bunch of quirky, bizarre characters, and they're always trying, and Scotty's friend is always trying to get laid, and there's some weird moments, there's some funny moments, and the movie. What's really weird about the movie is when it starts off as your typical early 2000s teenage sex comedy. We saw that in Road Trip. We saw it in American Pie. We saw it in Van Wilder. Yeah, Eurotrip wasn't really all that different. And frankly, when they're in Europe and we see all the nudes, it seemed like they're kind of pushing things. And Scotty's best friend, whose name in the movie is Cooper, he's him wanting to constantly get laid. It's kind of like Stifler in that way, in that regard. But of course, not as good as Stifler, obviously. But frankly, when they end up meeting up with the twins, and the four of them end up doing more things together all throughout Europe, they kind of grow as people. They become more mature. They end up getting some pretty good nuances going. And when the movie ends up getting to its final act, we're really surprised at how much we care about all these people. Not just our quartet, but the girl that Scotty really wants. And yeah, when the movie kind of started off, I really wasn't caring if Scotty got to Berlin or not. I wasn't caring if he got shot down. But as the movie's happening, as the movie's progressing, I was really rooting for him. I was rooting for all four of them. And I was really liking what I was seeing as the movie progressed. It takes us a while to warm up to these characters. It takes us a while for us to really get behind these four. And frankly, when all is over, we end up thinking, you know what, that was some time well spent. No, this movie's not a masterpiece by any means. But frankly, if you grew up in the early to mid 2000s and you remember that kind of those kind of films, frankly, I do recommend seeing Road Trip. I haven't seen Eurotrip. I think you'd like it. So I'll give Eurotrip from 2004 a modest 3-star score. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.